Why were millions excited when Obama became the president of the United States? And we know and we realize that Colin Powell was the first black chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff. And we are all excited. Joe Biden, the current president of the United States, has picked former General Lloyd Austin as the Secretary of Defense. And also, he has picked General Charles Q. Brown Jr. as the next chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff. All these are melanin-dominant human beings. Karine Jean-Pierre is a White House press secretary. She is openly queer, and we are all excited that we have our own people in the top echelons of the United States power. The question that we have to ask and the question that we need to answer is, does slavery still exist today? How can you prove that you are not a slave still? This applies to all melanin-dominant human beings all over the earth, because outstanding melanin-dominant human talent in sporting and activity, they have appeared not to have given us anything to celebrate about. And why are melanin-dominant human celebrities marrying across racial lines? Is it a slave mentality? Just like the Obama presidency and its legacy, and all the greatest heavyweight boxers, sports athletes, melanin-dominant human athletes, fastest male on earth, Ashe, Serena Williams, Samuel Etoo, Vinicius Jr. The slave and master mentality dominates. It doesn't matter of the matter of Obama's legacy. It doesn't matter whatever he accomplished. We are slaves still, and we are still colonized, and unfortunately we are almost excited about the achievements of some of our own melanin-dominant brothers. Getting a job. We are taught that get a job, you need to get education, graduate, go to college, acquire a skill someone is willing to pay for it, and then get a job and start a family and get ready to eventually retire, die, and that's it. We know you need pension, you need retirement, you need a mortgage. Are you excited about this? Is this proof that you are free, or this is proof that you are still a slave? The other route is no better. If you are not educated, if you do not have a skill, you will not have money, and you will fall directly into the poverty trap and the poverty cycle, where you suffer hunger, where you suffer crime, drugs, sex trade, exploitation, scapegoating, homelessness, and wage theft. You can't be excited about this. This is worse. Slavery is still here. This is a form of open slavery and colonization. What are the causes of all this? Even in a mother continent of Africa, for example, Africa is bursting to the seams with natural wealth, and it is surpassed on the opposite side by extreme poverty and squalor. What are the causes of all this? It is important that we understand the answer to this question. What are the causes of this poverty across the whole range of melanin-dominant human beings found anywhere on the earth, whether educated, whether a billionaire or a spiritual person? We need to understand why. We have black billionaires. Are you excited about this? Are they not enslaved? America has got over 585 billionaires. China has got 373 billionaires. Europe is also a lot of billionaires. What have our black billionaires done for us? For instance, we know and we understand that 3 of the top 10 richest black people in the whole world are Nigerians. But we know that a huge percentage of their money comes from the Nigerian market. If you ever wondered how these billionaires have changed their fellow men and women in their countries? Of course, we know that we have got a few billionaires on the continent. Are you excited about our great preachers and religious teachers? But we know that they are some of the richest people on the continent. While is they are the richest people, why are their members poor? While is their pastors are rich? Why are our own melanin dominant brothers and sisters allowing Islam to destroy and kill Christians, or to destroy and kill their own melanin dominant brothers and sisters? What is the problem? We know that they claim that they speak with God, that they hear God's word, that they interact with Allah, that they talk to the Creator. Why don't they get answers to our woes and come with solutions other than telling us to convert to their religions? Why? We know that Christianity and Islam has destroyed Africa. The reason why we are in this situation, from education to our billionaires, multimillionaires, leaders, politicians, educators, economists, military, police, intelligence, is because of the simple word system. If you do not understand system, you are not going to understand why we are still slaves. What is a system? A system is a set of principles or procedures according to which something is done repeatedly. It's an organized scheme or a method. In our Bantu languages, in Kiswahili, system is Mfumo. In Igbo, Usoro, dongosolo. Uhlelo, Etoo, inkqubo, tsamaiso, zenzo, maitirwe. This is the system. If you understand the system, you will understand a lot of what you can do to be indeed free and be excited about it. The system consists of environment, and within the environment there is input, and then there's a process, and that process is controlled, and then there's an output or a result, and then there's the feedback, and there's the repetition of the same process again and again. It is clear from all the major systems that dominate the world today that their founders tricked us into using their systems and adopting their systems when they took over. Therefore, whatever success we have, whatever we boast of, whether we are outstanding melanin dominant talent in sport, whether we get the best executive job on earth, whether we become black billionaires, whether we are great African melanin dominant preachers and teachers, whether we are the mass majority, we are feeding the beast because we are using the beast system. We are still slaves, we are still colonized, and we are still not free. Let's give an example. If you look at the religious system, the religious system is one of the major systems that are used in the whole world. When we look at the input, who is the input? The input came through military and subtle conquest of our environment in Africa. And it was done through a process of preaching that was done by the pastor, the rabbi, and the imam, who used the Bible, the Torah, the Koran as a control tool and left it in our hands, and it controls us today. And the process is known as indoctrination, and the output is that we have black people supporting and praying to the God who colonized them, who enslaved them, who caused their demise. Like black Hebrew Israelites, quoting Deuteronomy 28, the blueprint they were given to depend on and to prove to them into the self-fulfilled prophecy. Black Muslims and the religions that follow these books forget about colonization and slavery and continue to tell the black people to interact and interface with the same system. And it goes on and on and on non-stop. This is a major and significant understanding that we need. We need to know that these religions were founded on a specific date by specific individuals and were sent to us as a system that will benefit them and also exploit the followers. Doesn't matter who you are, whether you're the senior pastor, whether you're Gino Jennings, whether you're TF Chiwenga, whether you are Makandiwa, whether you are whoever you are in the religious system, you are supporting an enslaving colonial system which is colonizing you also. We want to ask, who benefits? We know that the Arabs conquered us. It's clearly shown here that in 639 AD, they came over and conquered us. Who are the Arabs? The Arabs are the Europeans. Don't tell me those black Arabs and stuff like that. Those black Arabs are Bantus. Yes, originally in those lands. So colonization was brought by Christianity and Islam and Judaism. And they took all of us into their system as input to be programmed and to be led. They are the same. Today, Islam and Christianity have divided Africa amongst themselves. They are used to exploit Africans. Early Christian missionaries worked hand in hand with colonizers. Early imams worked hand in hand with the marauding Saracens. Today's preachers are continuing from what those old ones established, and they insist that we should have the Bible, we should read the Bible, we should read the Koran, we should pray to the God that conquered us. They are benefiting from that. Yes, the solutions are you must get education and you must understand the slave plantation system, and you must understand how a job colonizes you and puts you in a system that controls your job, your career, your work, your opportunity, and your life and your happiness. You are likely a modern slave. I am likely a modern slave battling to come out of that slavery. It's not easy, because modern slaves, they tell you to obey your boss and the authorities, to adopt socially imposed beliefs without questioning them, to accept uncreative, stressful, exhausting, and low-paid jobs because you need rent, you need to pay the bills. It doesn't matter whether you are uneducated, whether you are a high school diploma holder, you have an associate degree, you have a bachelor's degree, master's or PhD, you are still a modern slave because the system is what is running your life. Listen to what Charles Bukowski, Factotum 1975 said here. How in hell could a man enjoy being awakened at 6:30 a.m. by an alarm clock, leap out of bed, dress, force feed, sheet, piece, brush teeth and hair, and fight traffic to get to a place where essentially you made lots of money for somebody else and were asked to be grateful for the opportunity to do so? Money supply. Whoever controls the money supply controls a lot of systems. The monopoly to issue a currency is the system that is exploiting this world. Yes, get the highest education, then a job, and then try to formulate a way out of modern slavery. It started with Christianity coming to Africa and Islam coming to Africa. The letter written by Leopold is still what is ruling as a model for modern Christian preachers in Africa. Modern slavery is still here. Sex trafficking, child sex trafficking, forced labor, bonded labor or debt bondage, domestic servitude, forced labor, unlawful recruitment, and the use of children, whether in the army, whether in jobs. Same like our old kings that sold us into slavery. Our modern leaders are allowing the Chinese, the Russians to come and exploit and oppress us even in our own continent. This is sad and it needs to be stopped. Here is the system owner. The man who owns all the system is known as Maya Amschel Power Rothschild. He is the one who's monopolized, and many others, the ability to issue currency. No country can issue currency without his approval. Followed by J.D. Rockefeller, who said he doesn't want a nation of thinkers. when it comes to education, but he wanted workers. So when the entirety of your earnings are exhausted on food and shelter, your labors are no longer viewed as an opportunity for economic advancement or enlightenment, but rather as an act of self-preservation. This is the trick that has been used all over the earth. So during the era of European colonialism and exploitation, European powers established several systems in Africa and all over the world. They kept those systems intact, but when they gave us token independence, they left those systems running. Preachers who think that they've received revelation from Jesus or from God are still using the same system brought by the missionaries and the colonizers. These are exploiters. They do not have any connection to any creator at all preaching, but they are still colonial servants. Look at them. The legal and judicial system, they still are excited in wearing European hair and administering European legal system. So, are you excited about all this? Are you really excited? All you need to understand, and all we have to think, is that we have just scratched the surface here. If only we can formalize our own systems, then we can really sing Uhuru. We need our own systems in various domains, including nature, engineering, social sciences, and organizing. The systems that we can formulate will become the framework for us to understand complex phenomena, be able to analyze relationships and interactions, and design solutions to achieve desired outcome. Then we know at least we are on track. You see, the Europeans have perfected their own systems to a point where they even allow a Martin Luther King, a Malcolm X, a Barak Obama to catch on the limelight and even to become the United States president. But they will fight tooth, nail, and skin if a Marcus Garvey, a Dutty Backman, rises up again. If you understand this, get in touch with us and send us an email to join@marifado.com. Your manager Topi, Priest Teacher Rabbi LM Dumizulu Kunikeni Mjakanja, saying, we are not yet free. I might be a little bit free, but we are not yet free. Uhuru is still far away. We are still slaves. We need liberation, and it's coming. Ameni, Ameni, Amenra.